stop. So
slap me around the back of the head. Sorry,
I expect Craig Baird, he's going to have to come back in again. We'll keep an eye on that and see how that plays out. But that could be a massive blow for Clearwater. They're only 11 seconds off the lead as they came to the stripe. But it is
back. That's been
it's been one of the great stories of the day so far as we approach the 4.5-hour mark of the race. We're just enjoying some Donut King product in the commentary box in the car, enjoying some, or not enjoying some more time in pit lane. Looks like Tony Alford sitting in the car.
Coming down into the final left-hander. Maguire's corner as it is this weekend, and looks like Craig Baird's got position on the inside. A little bit of racing room needing to be given by Christopherson. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. And at Hell Corner, the position is going to change. A new third place. Christopherson doesn't really make it easy at all for Baird as he goes down the inside, squeezed down in him through the left-hander at Hell, but going up the mountain straight, we've got a new third place car.
Yeah, Craig Baird charging his way through. In October last year in his turf in Porsche Carrera Cup, he took on one of the best one-make Porsche racers in the world, Ron Blickermolen, who came out to drive the guest car at that Carrera Cup round, beat him on all 3 occasions. And Blickermolen said, man, this guy is good. And it was a really, really tough challenge. Jeroen, of course, having finished second in the 12 months ago. So Baird gets past the very impressive Phoenix Audi, and I shouldn't sound surprised because that team I expect to be impressive, but the 3 drivers they have just done a hugely professional job all weekend. But Baird pulling away from them, he is setting a good pace and moves to 3rd place.
This is the class-leading
E-Class
car. Exactly so. And Ivo Broikers at the wheel of the number 3 Holden Astra at the moment.
That car had a problem with the right front earlier on in the week, remember? Ivo clouted the wall coming out with the fault in tyres elbow.
That was in the free practice session, wasn't it, John? And he's now limping back. He'll make it back without too much difficulty.
Yeah, of course, complete a stop with their Ferrari, and there's plenty going on in Erebus Motorsport too. They have the German car, especially the 36, primarily running on the hard Michelin tyre. So they've been just running the harder compound tyre in this middle stint during the heat of the day, and that possibly explains that slight performance drop-off, Paul, that you were talking about a little bit before. So they've been running the harder of the 2 Michelins, but Pete Hackett will jump back in behind car 63. Lee Holdsworth out of the way. So let's take a look at the Michelin race update with how things stand. The Clearwater Ferrari back in front, Mercedes 2nd and 3rd for Erebus Motorsport. The Audi's still looking strong, but they really need to maintain their position on the lead lap. And the Porsche, there or thereabouts in 6. Here are our class battles, thanks to Darrell Lee, Pedigree, Ridges, V8 Race Fuels and Maguire's. But plenty going on in the Maguire's Invitational class this weekend as well.
Here's our class invitation 1 leader. This is the number 60 Lotus Elise. Great to see these little Lotuses out as well. They're a really smashing little car, super balance to them. Takes a little bit of getting used to because it's such a light car, and the engine, although it's in the middle of the car, is obviously the most part of the weight. A bit like driving a Porsche really, except it's not hung right out over the back wheels. I love them to bits. Done a bit of driving in them in the UK, and with slick tyres on, this is a real weapon. And through the twisties, as you see now, it's a narrow car, it's easy to place, good visibility going forward at least, and I would think that's a great weapon up here.
How is the diffuser on it? That is fantastic. Get a load of it. It looks great out there, and obviously it really does help the aerodynamics of the car. Oh, yellow flags at the top at McPhillamy. What's going on here? Is there a car in the gravel trap?
That would normally be what we would have.
Oh, there it is.
Big incident off to driver's right just before the entrance to Skyline, and down through the S's. The marks in the gravel trap tell their own story.
Over to the left-hand side.
Is that
right on the track?
I think that's the VIP Petfield. No, it's not. It's the 88. It's the 88 again, the Ferrari. That was John Bow, and indeed it's still John Bow, and he's bounced off the wall.
Has he got a flat tyre? The door's open. So,
I think he's bounced off the wall there.
Safety car.
120 mile an hour. The right rear is gone on that car. There's no tyre on it, and it's deranged. The driver's door is open. I would think John has vacated as quickly as he could if he's been able to get out that car. Safety car has been called for. Now there is the slow moving Seat that Mark was talking about. This is the 56 car,
And front left on that looks like it's got a problem. Is it a flat tyre? The car is covered in dust, so he's been involved with it. So look at the marks there on the right
paint
front.
on the right front. It's either a flat or he's got an upright problem, I think, there, Mark. I'm not sure which one it is.
And Craig Baird then opens up a useful little margin as he comes down to that final corner.
Manna from heaven for Bairdo, because he's got a whole gaggle of touring class cars as he screams by us, or at least the Ferrari does. And one of the lower placed Audi's just gone through. I think that was the 12 car that went through in front of us. And now that battle for third and fourth. Where is Christopherson? I'm looking across to the right to see him. Here he comes, the white, yellow and black machine coming up the inside, and he's got Holdsworth right there, you know, as they go in the 23. Brendan Hartley with the United Autosports colours around him in the Audi. He's picking his way back through traffic. He is just off the lead lap by, 4 laps now, as there's a slow BMW on the mountain straight. Drivers right, everyone's going to have to keep their wits about them there as the pack comes through. My goodness, and that's where racing drivers earn their money, Mark.
Oh, hold your breath there as the GWS 335i BMW there had more dramas. They've had a fraught week here at the mountain for the local team, but everyone seems to be sorting themselves out as they head up to the cutting on this first racing lap. There's Christopherson up the inside of the Aston. Great to see the Aston back out there. Bit of a bottleneck as they try and sort themselves out through the cutting.
It's such a dangerous time on the restart. Yellows breed yellows, cautions breed cautions. Whichever way you look at it, it is true, because you're bunching everybody up. You've lost a bit of tyre temper, a bit of pressure. Some people perhaps have an issue that they weren't aware of until they've slowed down, and then you get all this that we're seeing now with Brendan Hartley having to do some masterful overtaking. And here comes the Christopherson car, and Hartley's there now. He's got a faster car behind him. Hartley's trying to make his way back up and maybe get a lap back, but what he's got now is the third place Christopherson car, the Phoenix Racing machine, right up his tailpipes. So the white, red and blue United Autosports car goes down through the dipper with the white, yellow and black Audi similar car behind him with the big number 1A in the top right hand side of the window. He's got his fog lights on in the grille there just to make sure that Brendan knows there's someone behind him. Trust me, Brendan knows he's there. They've got his spinners at the elbow, and I think that was the Rugolo car that was involved in that. It's Wyatt that's in the 58 at the moment. It certainly looked like the red 458 that was coming out of the Falcon Tyres elbow.
There was a white car involved. I'm not sure what it was. Hopefully we'll be able to pick that up.
I think it was one of the one of the Cup Class Porsches, Mark, just from the quick shot that we got in the background. Yes, it was. The 67 car has gone around and now does an 18-point turn. The good news is, of course, now this is where having just had the restart kind of helps him, because the majority of the field has gone through. The Motorsport Services GT3 Cup car has Hartley and the number 1 car of Christopherson. Now Hartley is playing hardball here. He's 4 laps down. He'll be getting the blue flags. I kind of understand why he doesn't want to move over, but Christopherson's going to be getting a little impatient with this.
Well, while there's a great battle on the track, let's go back and take a look at the halfway recap. Thanks to Michelin, this is Eric Lutz spinning across the chase. Huge moment in the Audi R8 LMS with that rear tyre deflated. Clearwater Ferrari in the thick of the action all day. A big impact for Charles Ing in the BMW at the top of Mount Panorama. The Liquid Molly car hard into the wall. And the Mosler struck dramas too. A serpentine belt on the front of the Corvette engine, the mighty V8 that powers the British-built sports car, spun itself off, and they were later to strike more dramas, much in the same way that Warren Luff struck some debris in this battle, trying to unlap himself as the Donut King car shielded its rear studs off the back as it went to pit lane. And that was 3 wheels on its wagon. The rear bar off the GB galvanising Lamborghini came off halfway down Conrod Straight. And then the Sharon BMW spun itself into the gravel at Maguire's corner, but that was the least of it for the Class D leading car. A blown engine for the Sharon Rentals Bimmer put them out of the race early on into the Liquid Molly 12 hour. The Clearwater Ferrari again in the thick of the action, and Matt Griffin made up more than a minute and a half under green flag running some 3 wide racing, passing an Audi and a slower lapped car from GWS, and the BMW carved his way up through the field in a real inspired drive by the Irishman. This was for 3rd place on the road, with Craig Baird working his way past the Phoenix Racing Audi, the defending champions here at Mount Panorama. And a nice move into Maguire's corner. Saw Craig Baird work his way through, and the Clearwater car well in contention at the halfway point of the Liquimoli Bathurst 12-hour. So many stories unfolding, so much strategy, so much great racing throughout the course of the day. And there's still a very long way to go. The Clearwater car then set out after the race leader to get itself back onto the lead lap and back in contention for a win that it'd like to achieve very much after finishing third last year. Brave move around the outside at Skyline. That was bold stuff, but they got it done. Ivo Brukas was behind the wheel of the Holden Astra when it popped to right front. This is how they run 6 hours into the Liquimoli 12-hour. Ferrari leading Mercedes and Audi, with Mercedes, Porsche and a whole heap more Audis filling out the back end of the